Good morning, everyone. I'm Erin Allagood. I'm the Director of HR and Administration here at Aaron. And as a reminder, I'd first like to share what our team does here at Aaron. As you can see, we have a wide variety of responsibilities, and I'll be touching on several of these topics throughout my presentation today. But first, I want to introduce our team. These pictures are recent, just so you know. I'm going to lower that. I really liked Susan's pictures that she did of her team. That was really fun. So first, Therese Colosi is our executive assistant, and she has been for almost 17 years with Aaron. Therese supports our executive team, board of trustees, advisory council, ASO/AC members for travel and administrative needs. Next, we have Sarah Ba. Sarah Ba is here actually at the meeting. Sarah, if you would mind standing. Yeah. Sarah is our administrative coordinator. Sarah provides HR support such as benefits administration. She secures our employee travel. She helped a lot of us get here today or this week. And then she acts as our facilities coordinator. And then next we have Denise Austin, who is our receptionist. So she's the first person to greet you as you come into the Aaron office. Denise does a great job ordering our office supplies, distributing our mail. She keeps the front part of our office running. And our whole team, really does a great job of doing the back end of the office for our employees. So I definitely want to let them know that we appreciate all their hard work. So 2017 was a pretty busy year for our team and overall for Aaron. And we're off to a great start in 2018. It doesn't really seem to be slowing down, as you can tell from the presentations from my fellow directors. This next slide highlights some of our accomplishments in the last year since my last presentation at the previous Aaron meeting. I'm pleased to report that Aaron was ranked at number 14 in the Washington Post Top Workplaces listing in the small business category in 2017. This is a great accomplishment for Aaron. Making this list was due to the results of an employee engagement survey where we received an 88% response rate from our employees for the survey. That's a great turnout. And we received a lot of great data from the survey. This is a huge accomplishment for Aaron, as I said earlier. This shows that our employees take a lot of great pride in where they work, and it already adds to our excellent platform for an already wonderful company culture. And as you can guess, the results of the survey were quite favorable because we made the list. But there were some areas for improvement and some constructive employee feedback from the survey, which we've already begun to tackle, and I'm going to touch on that in my next slide. So the next item on the list is our new COO selection, and John touched on this during his opening remarks, but I just want to add a little bit more context to this. So this next item is a little bittersweet for a lot of us here at Aaron. As you might have heard, Nate Davis, our current Chief Operating Officer, is going to be retiring at the end of this year. If any of you have had the opportunity to meet and work with Nate, you know that he has been and continues to be a tremendous asset at Aaron. I'd like to take the time to thank Nate for his many years of outstanding service at Aaron and wish him well as he moves into his next adventure. Please join me in a round of applause for Nate. So as you can see, our new COO has some big shoes to fill. So we opened this position in late 2017, and we received several resumes. After a thorough selection process, we are very fortunate to have filled the position with an internal candidate, Richard Jimerson, who is our current Chief Information Officer. So while Richard will have big shoes to fill, Richard has a terrific amount of experience at Aaron and within the internet community. And Richard is extremely qualified for the COO role. So over the next few months, Richard and Nate will be working closely together, and they've already begun doing this during this transition, and Richard will transition fully and assume full responsibility for the COO role in fourth quarter of this year. So another item on this slide is that we tackled in 2017 is we successfully converted medical insurance companies from Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield to Cigna effective January 1 of 2018. Our new medical plan with Cigna is much more robust and offers lower copays and out-of-pocket costs for our employees and their families. And at the same time, we were able to negotiate lower broker fees at a savings of 10% for this new plan. So moving into some other items that are in progress for this year, as I've mentioned in my previous presentations at other ARIN meetings, we conduct a salary survey every 2 to 3 years, and our last one was conducted in 2015, so we'll be tackling that and have already started that process this year. Our salary survey allows us the opportunity to stay competitive in the metropolitan DC area and ensures that our employees are compensated both within the range of our demographics and their specific roles at ARIN. I'm also in the preliminary stages of a payroll vendor platform change. So we currently use Paychex as our payroll vendor, and Paychex is in the process of changing their platform for all customers to a cloud-based product. So I'll be working with our engineering and legal teams over the next couple of weeks for this project and transition. As I mentioned earlier, we received some really great data from our employee engagement survey related to the Washington Post listing. However, there were some areas for improvement. In order to help us tackle these specific areas, we've secured an outside consulting firm to help us manage addressing the themes within the survey. This team has already begun to work with the management team at ARIN, and we're in the beginning phases of this project. This will likely result in management and inclusion training for our staff, as well as a team building component where we will further enhance our collaboration and communication between departments. I personally am looking forward to this project in the next few months. Also in progress for this year and part of 2017 is a full review of our 401k plan. In late 2017, we conducted fiduciary training with outside counsel for the 401k trustees and investment committee. This training was extremely informative and helpful related to our 401k plan. We are also conducting an ongoing internal audit of our 401k plan, which will ensure that our processes are followed per our plan documents and the IRS guidelines. So moving into some of the more exciting material of my presentation, I'd like to share some updates on our employee statistics. We currently have 87 employees at ARIN. We've had 5 new hires come on board in 2017 and 1 in 2018. And ARIN historically has enjoyed a high employee retention, as we mentioned earlier in some of the other directors' presentations. I'm happy to report that our employee retention remains strong at over 95%, which is a slight increase from last year. And our average employee tenure has also increased since my last presentation from 6 years to over 7 years, which is excellent. As an HR professional, it speaks volumes about our organization and its practices to have such a high employee retention. So with this in mind, each year I show this graphic that highlights our remarkable employee tenure. As you see here, over half of our employees have been with ARIN for 5 years or more, but we still have a healthy pipeline of newer hires at ARIN. These demographics are certainly impressive, and to emphasize this outstanding tenure, I'd like to recognize some of our employees who have celebrated their milestone anniversaries, meaning 10, 15, and 20 years over the last couple of years since my last presentation. So I'd like to recognize those employees who have been with ARIN for 10 years or more, and some of them are here, so I want them to stand as I call your name. Some are going to be back at the office, but I'd like all of us to kind of recognize them as I call their name. Nate Davis, Garth Dubin, Kathy Hanley, Frank Hill, Hollis Cara, Mark Costers, Lisa Liddell, Andy Newton, Mike Papano, Matt Rowley, Amy Sanchez, Maureen Seller, Pete Toscano, Amaris Wang, Val Winkleman, and John Worley. Let's give them a round of applause. That's a long list. And if I'm going to pause for just a second, I'd like Kathy Hanley to please stand in the back. She's in the back there. So if you haven't met Kathy, Kathy is our Executive Director of Public Policy, Government Affairs and Public Policy. Thank you, it's a long title. And Kathy is also getting ready to retire at the end of this year. And I'd really like to recognize Kathy for all of her contributions at Aaron and wish her well as she moves into retirement. So thank you, Kathy. Some exciting stuff. I'm getting lots of participation. I like it. All right, so moving into our employees that have been with Aaron for 15 years or more, and again, as I call your name, if you're here, please stand. Einar Bolin, Jason Byrne, Tanya Gomez, Susan Hamlin, Richard Jimerson, Doreen Marafa, Leslie Nobile, Tammy Rowe, Therese Simcox, and Ming Yan. Let's give them a round of applause. So I have to say, Kathy Clements gave me a hard time and said she's tired of this, but I am not. And I'm sorry, Kathy. So last but certainly not least, Aaron just celebrated our 20th anniversary last year. And there's been 2 employees that have been with Aaron since its beginning stages. And Kathy was with Aaron back in December of 1997. So at this time, I would really like to recognize Kathy Clemens. I know you don't want to stand, but for her 20 years of service at Aaron, this is outstanding. Please join me. And on that same thread, Michael O'Neill has also been with Aaron and celebrated his 20th anniversary in March of this year. So let's give him a round of applause as well. He's back at the office. All right, thank you very much. All right, so let's see. All right, so in addition to providing human resource and facility management, payroll and travel administration, and our other daily operational functions, I've highlighted some of the work that we'll be taking on in the next year. We'll continue work on the management and leadership training project that I spoke of earlier related to the employee engagement survey. This will likely be ongoing through the rest of 2018 and may carry over into 2019. I will assist in the COO transition and look forward to working closely with both Nate and Richard during that process. And we will continue work on our 401k plan into 2018 and beyond. And lastly, we will complete our salary survey later this quarter. Thank you for your time, and thank you for your participation. All right, any questions?
Any questions for Aaron and the HR admin report?
Thank you so much.
Thank you.